You're going to love this next guy. Hilarious. Making his comedy debut. A big hand for Ben Alessi.
I get knocked out, but I know
What's up, Philly? How are you guys doing? Thank you for coming out, the real heroes of the night. I know it's stand-up comedy, but that will not be happening here. So I will be getting down though, but in a good way. When I get down, I like to think, there's advantages to being paralyzed. Probably one of the things that sticks out to me is I'm a lot less likely to get kidnapped for ransom. Also, if I did get kidnapped, whoever did that would take over transportation and staffing my attendant care. So it would be a win-win. Ideally, me and Juan and Carlos would get along, three amigos. I'd join the cartel in some way. It's really my best hope, because my parents would not pay that ransom. My dad does this thing where if he doesn't like your offer, he goes, explain to me how that's fair. You explain to me how that's fair. And then I'm like, Dad, calm down. He's like, no, Ben, no, I'm asking the question. Just answer me. So I'd hopefully learn Spanish or maybe call my wife. But I'd even be a little more scared to call her than the cartel. Like, no, you gotta call her and ask her the ransom. No, you call her. No, you're fine, I'll call her. Hey, honey, I'm here. I'm with two guys. We're gonna need some money. Honey, hello? Been married for 2.5 years now. Beautiful wives. She is Ukrainian, so maybe Zelensky could help with the ransom situation. He's done a pretty good job with your guys' pensions. Sorry about that. No pension. Didn't lose anything. Gonna look at my notes. It's my generation, we're bad at remembering things. Oh yeah, we're talking about calling my wife if I got kidnapped by the cartel. I can't think of anything worse. Not having it. If I did get kidnapped, my strategy, I'm not rushing to get out of it. My wife isn't Russian either. She's Ukrainian. We've been married for 2.5 years, but you know that because I wasn't reading off my phone at this point. Needing help for everything that you do in life is a big pain. I can definitely say that. The last thing that most of you guys want when you're going to the bathroom or you're taking a shower is someone around. But unfortunately for me, that's the exact thing that I need. So it's kind of like the opposite of what you're like, my mind's telling me, yeah, my body's telling me no. So I used to use an agency to staff my attendant care. And then I realized I can get people to show up late and steal money from me on my own. So I've been doing that for the past, 10, 12 years. We'll round up. 12. It's 11, and then I got hit in February 2010. Since then, I could do like a whole set on just the people I've had to ask for help for stuff, but a couple things that stick out to me. There was a lady that looked like Marshawn Lynch, and she drove my car through my garage. And the first thing after she drove through my garage, she looked at me and she was like, my insurance is not going to cover this. So, and that, not as bad as the gay guy who drove my car off of a small, I would say a little bit bigger than this, a small embankment at the Veterans Hospital. Then he fled the scene in his pink scrubs. I was left there. I'm in a ditch. And so I was like, well, I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. So I called 911. They said, no, you call non-emergency services. So I called them. I said, look, I'm paralyzed. I'm in the car, but I'm not paralyzed because of the accident. So I need help. So send some people to get out. But I told them, look, I'm paralyzed and don't panic. I don't know if the message made it to the people, but there was 10 guys swarming down the hill trying to break into the car. And they're like, he's stuck, he can't get out. And I'm like, guys, no, get off. I need the car. I do need the car. It's the main thing. If I do get kidnapped, I hope they have a car because transportation is a nightmare. Now, when I'm hiring people, I check their license. I don't think that guy had a license, which is why he fled the scene. I do think he was gay, which is why he was wearing pink scrubs. I'm not mad about it, To be fair, we were getting directions from my blind friend, Drew. But hindsight is 20/20, though not for Drew. Most unique, difficult situation I've had is I hired a midget attendant. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be neat. She showed up. There's a car out in my driveway. 3 hours later, the car's still there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, that's my boyfriend. He goes where I go. And I was like, well, you didn't tell me about that when we were when I hired you. She's like, yeah, no, he goes where I go. And I was like, well, what if I go out? She's like, well, he doesn't have to ride with us, but like he can follow us. I was like, this is not good. And I wasn't really prepared to fire either of them, but I needed to do that. So I'm happy that worked out. Getting rides to and from places is probably one of my main hassles in life. About last week or the week before, I was practicing to come down here, and my ride fell through at the last second, so it's calling around. When you're running low, or you're running late or whatever, your standards are low. So, and we'll use for the sake, this is a real person, so for the sake of his name identity, we'll call him A-Rod. But I called a friend who's a recovering addict. I was like, oh, who would be great for a comedy show? Recovering addict. It's like therapy, but cheaper. So he took me down. I was like, hey, man, if you could give me a ride, I'd really appreciate it. He said, yeah, no problem. Just the thing is, I'm on my second DUI, so I have a breathalyzer in my car. And I just agreed, whatever, you take what you can get. I forgot that means every 30 minutes he has to breathe into this thing. It goes beep, 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 beep. So he shows up at my house. And I knew we were going to be late when I asked him to stop at the gas station for change, and he turned the car off. They sell beer at gas stations now. Oh. And I think he forgot that you can't just, it's to 2 beers, yeah, sure, but you can't just drink 2 beers and then, so when he came back out, he's like, can you breathe into this for me? I was like, no, probably not. So we'll wait here. They'll wait for me. So I made it. I'm happy to be there, happy to tell jokes, but on the way, somewhere between finding a parking spot and here, I thought to myself, it would be a lot easier if I got kidnapped. I hope you guys have a great night. Check me out on YouTube, The Most Humble Show, and be well, be blessed. Stand for those who can't.